and he'd lay out, I don't know if he was like a caterpillar, but he'd lay out about 10 pair of footy boots along the floor and pick which boots he was going to wear.
Okay. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Hoodoo Gurus who have given us permission to use part of their song That's My Team as our new podcast episode intro for all of their music, and whenever they are going live or performing live, head to their Facebook and their Instagram. The links will be in the description below. Be sure to give them a like and a follow as well on Facebook and Instagram. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast, and we've actually got a goal guest, in the sense of this bloke has been one of the goals that I've wanted to have on the podcast, and his name is Mark Hughes, founder of the Mark Hughes Foundation, current new owner of Airlocker, I think it's Newcastle. Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
CJ, great to have a chat, mate. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no worries. So, I mean, obviously, let's get started and let's talk about Airlocker, because that's the first thing I mentioned just then. What is Airlocker and how's that going for you?
Yeah, look, I'm certainly wanting to look after myself these days. I want to enjoy life, get the most out of it, and I stumbled across Airlocker training in Newcastle and quickly formed a really great friendship there with Roman, the founder, and before I knew it, I was a partner, and I'm very excited to be saying that, we're looking for new partners right across Australia. We started one in Bondi 2 weeks ago.
I saw that on LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really good thing to do, there's so many benefits to training at altitude. I like that it's a bit less impact on
So
your
that's
body.
that's what it does. It's training at altitude sort of thing. Is it like a higher up gym, or sorry, continue.
Yeah, group training at altitude. So you're at 3,200 meters above sea level.
Oh wow.
So there's normally right now there's 21% oxygen in the air. When you're in Airlocker, there's about 13%.
Oh.
It makes your body work harder. It makes you lose body fat for longer during the day. Less impact on your body, which I like, and as you get older you don't want to but still get great results. So really good. So I recommend checking it out, everyone, and hopefully there's an Airlocker coming near you at some point.
Well, I mean, I'll definitely throw in the links of Airlocker Newcastle and Bondi and all that in the description of this episode. So if anyone who's interested, just click in the description, you'll find the links there. So your debut was in 1997 for the Newcastle Knights, of your beloved Newcastle Knights, because you didn't play for any other team except for in Super League, which, if you don't mind me asking, did you choose to go to Super League because you couldn't bring yourself to play for another team in the NRL?
Oh, look, I'm a Newcastle boy through and through, and absolutely loved it. And I didn't examine any options for going to anywhere else. I had a great career at the Knights, and I just felt it was the right time to go over there. I had a couple of injuries towards the end of my career, which didn't help, so it was just good timing to finish off over and play for France.
Yeah, no, that's fair, because I spoke to Beaver a few months ago, and his reasoning to go over to Catalans was the coach had said, look, I don't really have a place for you at Manly, you're free to look at other options, and he couldn't bring himself to play against Manly, because his heart was, one club man sort of thing, which is very similar to yourself. Talking about your debut, what was that like, running out onto the field for the Newcastle Knights, being a Novocastrian yourself and everything like that?
It was a bit surreal, when I was 18, I was playing club football for my beloved Curry Bulldogs.
Yep.
So I wasn't going through the Knights junior system. I wasn't one of those star players, so to speak. So I had to do it pretty tough. And I finally got an opportunity when I was 19 to go and trial for the Knights 21s team. And from there, it all happened quite quickly. And before I knew it, I was 20.
Wow.
And,
that's a pretty late start back then for the NRL. So sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's right. So I was... like I said, I wasn't in the junior systems. I didn't have the gym programs or the training programs behind me, but I managed to slot myself in to the Knights, and it was midway through 1997 on a rainy, cold night up in Gold Coast. I got my first. Back in those days, you'd play reserve grade and you would sit on the bench.
Bench for first grade in case.
Yeah, so you might have been one of 6 or 8 players, and you're just hoping you might get a run. And I got a run. Robbie O'Davis got injured at fullback.
Yep.
We were losing about 18-0 at the time.
Oh,
mainly.
That's not a good debut.
I managed to score a try and did well, and I didn't look back from there.
I mean, and in that same year, you then went on to win the grand final. First of all, the first grand final for the Knights, and your first grand final in your debut season. What was that all like when it cultivated at the end of that final siren of the grand final?
Oh, that was just something else. There's a lot going on. The BHP closed in Newcastle that year, which meant a lot of job losses around Newcastle. There was the Super League war, a lot of things going on, and Rugby League were looking for a really good story, and they found one with us.
Oh, it was.
Manly had beaten us, I think it was 18 times in a row before that.
And 3 times that year already, I think it was, or twice at least that year, yeah.
Had a champion team, led by Paul Harrigan, the best leader I've ever been associated with. The Johns brothers, the halves there. We had Adam Muir in the back row, was, going really well. Robbie O'Davis. Look, I could name.
You just had the team, if that makes it. You had the team of '97.
We had a great mix: Tony Butterfield, Mark Lamb, all these older guys, some young guys, and we found a way to win. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Just find a way. I found out that in life as well. Sometimes you just need to find a way, and that's sort of what we did with an enormous amount of support behind us. A tidal wave of support.
Oh, there was more Knights fans at the grand final because I watched the replay a few weeks ago than there were Manly, and that's just insane considering that was Manly's 3rd in a row, like in that succession. But there was like a sea of red and blue.
Yeah, when we left the ground the day before from the stadium, the whole car park was full of people. Saturday afternoon, and the bus was leaving, and Paul Harrigan and that stood up in the bus, and that they had tears rolling down their eyes, and they sort of said, this is more than a game. We're not going to lose this one. We're bringing this trophy back, boys. And I was sort of sitting there in my seat going, wow, this is serious stuff, this.
Yeah, and, like it's bigger than me. It's bigger than us. Yeah.
This is just enormous. And they were lining the streets, and you could just feel that support, and we took that out on the field with us.
Honestly, yeah. There's very few one-team towns in the NRL. The Broncos are one, the Storm are one, and the Knights, in my opinion, they're the only 3. Oh, and the Warriors, because they're more or less a one-country team, let's be honest. But yeah, and it's great when teams such as the Knights get their first win, or the Storm got their first one in '99, the Broncos in '92. It really is amazing how much it means to them. And I was talking to Robbie O a few months ago, and he said the after party for the '97 grand final was just second to none. Do you have any fun memories of the after party or aftermath of the win?
Well, it was just pandemonium. The town was just in party mode. We got back to the Workers' Club. The streets were lined. The bus was weaving through the crowd. It was an amazing thing to be a part of. And then we had a street parade a few days later.
Yep.
Which I think there was about 100,000 people.
Oh, wow.
We had the Screaming Jets playing there. The boys were crowd surfing, and we're on stage with them, which was just unforgettable. And I know there's a story that does the rounds where I was with Paul Harrigan late night at a 24-hour pub a few nights into it, and Chief fell asleep on a stool right in front of the toilets, and no one could get into the toilet, and Chief was asleep. So I had to show a bit of leadership of my own, and I grabbed him and put his arm around me, and as I got him up out of his chair, everyone in the pub, and this was the early hours of the morning, gave him a massive round of applause.
Oh, wow.
Walking him out the pub, and got him out the pub, and we fell over onto the footpath, but it was all good fun.
Yeah.
Just a magical time. For a
Wow.
20-year-old who, was, as I said, playing park football 18 months earlier to
NRL grand final, ARL grand final is wow.
Well, life can change, and this is another thing that I've learned along the way as well. Your life can change pretty quick, good or bad. And that was a really life-changing thing.
That was a really life-changing good. Trigger warning to anyone who's about to listen to this part, it contains cancer talk. And sorry to bring it up, but there was a life-changing bad in 2013 for yourself when you unfortunately was diagnosed with brain cancer. What was that like, the emotions going through it, from the point of being told to being told you're in remission? sort of thing, and everything in between. What was it like for you personally? And to anyone who's listening, I will definitely put down the links to any charities. If any of you are listening for cancers, if you know someone, I'll put the links to anyone who, companies that may help, such as I think it's called the Pass It On Foundation, all that sort of stuff. For anyone who's listening that may be going through or know someone who's going through cancer. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's really nice. So I was 36 years of age with 3 children under 10.
Yeah, shit, sorry.
Yeah, so
wow.
36, so it was tough. And then your doctor says to you, I'm sorry, Mark, you've got high-grade brain cancer. Now, there's no cure for brain cancer. No cure. I was dealt those cards. And, yeah, I had some horrible thoughts and really for a few weeks struggled. It was tough. But I quickly, picked up the pieces along with my wife, Kiralee, and realised I had to fight this and fight it really hard. And we decided to change our focus and our purpose and start a foundation, which...
An amazing foundation, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's only amazing because of the support that we've had, and particularly the rugby league community. You
Definitely.
have been amazing. All these people listening now, they would, I bet you, they'd like your good self there, would have a beanie, and that's what's helped make the difference. And and it really helped the fight back that I've had. And I'm so positive, so strong, and it's because this foundation has got so much support, and we're doing so many great things. It's really been a great thing. And I have scans every 4 months. Like, people may forget that I'm still fighting this battle.
Exactly, yeah. Like, even though you may be in remission, it's still the battle. Like, my mother had breast cancer about 10 years ago. She still goes for scans every, I think it's 3 or 4 months-ish, around the same amount of time as you do. Because you may technically be all clear, but it's, to anyone who's listening, you may be all clear, but you're only all clear for now. It could show up at any point, at any time again. And hopefully it doesn't.
It's one of those things, and even the word remission in brain cancer doesn't get used too often.
It wouldn't really, no.
So, but I feel really great, and I feel like very well supported. We've got great research happening. We've raised over $20 million. We've got brain cancer nurses. We've got study right across Australia. We're doing everything, and that's what's life. I think life's about is getting in there and having a go, and just the harder option. But I had to make the choice, trying to make a difference, trying to help someone. How I was going to respond. I think in life, if everyone has a bit of a thought about helping people and helping someone, our world's going to be better.
Honestly, agreed. That's real. Honestly, yeah. So that's honestly, yeah. So much like. I can't even put it better into words than you did just then. Moving on to a bit of a lighter note. Sorry to anyone who's listening who may have been triggered by that sort of talk. I apologize to anyone. Next topic is, what is your current beer of choice?
Beer of choice. Now,
yes.
In my days as a rugby league player, I did have a nickname, which my surname is Hughes, which I was Hughesy, and then someone did actually change it to Boozy for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I did have this terrible nickname, Boozy, so if Boozy should know his beers quite well. I like Tui's. I like the 50 Lashes.
Oh, okay, yep.
50 Lashes. Although sometimes you feel like you've had 50 Lashes the next day. I like a mid-strength beer now.
Yep.
So
it's like a Great Northern sort of mid-strength, or
just the 4X or the any mid-strength. Just you feel a little bit better the next day, don't you?
Oh, you do. I tied a few together yesterday while watching the Parramatta Bulldogs game, but they were mid-strengths, and I can promise you my body's thanking me for doing that rather than having the full strengths. If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be and why?
If I could have any superpower.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to say it's a boring answer, but I would want to have healing powers because I'd want to cure people of cancer. So that's what I would want to do.
That's not boring, honestly. That's really not.
So many families devastated by cancer. not just brain cancer, any cancer. So
Any cancer. The C word, let's put it that way.
yeah, I just want to sort that out. So, and I think that would help people a lot if we could sort this cancer problem out.
Definitely. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium.
Medium? Okay. Medium well or medium rare?
No, just medium, sort of medium rarish.
Yep.
I've got a Weber barbecue at home, so I get
Nice.
the Weber on, put it on, 3 or 4 minutes on one side, 3 or 4 on the other, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah, nice. Now, a question from our sponsor, SkyeSpark Electrical. They ask, if you could go back, or even now, meet your teen self, what advice would you give him for life that's about to happen for him?
Well, the advice I'd give my young self would be to, I think, not always worry what other people think. I think as youngsters and that, we all get guilty of worried about what people say about you, what they think of you, and just be yourself.
Honestly, that's great advice. What's your current favourite Netflix or TV show that you're currently binging or addicted to?
I was watching, I watched the Michael Jordan one like everyone else in the world.
I haven't. I'm still yet to. Yeah.
And that. And I watched Sutherland till I die. It's about the Sutherland soccer team in England.
Oh, yep. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and they follow them in their journey over a season or two, and found that quite interesting. So there's a couple.
Okay, definitely. Well, I'll definitely, as you said, everyone's watched the Michael Jordan one except myself. I don't know why. I've been meaning to. I just haven't got around to it. But I'll definitely, now Mark Hughes recommends, I'll definitely watch that. And obviously movies. What's your favorite movie of all time, and what's your favorite movie that you've watched recently?
I haven't been to the movies for a while.
It could be one that you've watched for the first time recently, though. It doesn't have to be at the cinema.
Yeah. So I always like a good laugh and good fun. Movies, probably my fun. Will Ferrell's always.
He's always a good one. Yep.
Yeah, I remember as a kid I loved Happy Gilmore.
Great film.
That's just fun, good fun show. Recently, what have I watched? I must admit, I just nothing is popping up there as far as recently what I've watched. So, yeah, a little bit boring there.
Yeah, no. So Will Ferrell and Happy Gilmore. So more or less Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler type stuff.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. I love simple shows like Meet the Parents. I used to like that show. And,
yeah.
Fun.
Honestly, that's so great. How did you handle the change from being a player into retirement?
Yeah, look, as a 16, 17-year-old, when I was, playing for Curry, I was an apprentice fitter machinist. So I was in the workforce. I was living a normal life. So I think I had that inbuilt in me, and I was sort of ready by the end of my football career. I had a wonderful career, but I had a few injuries towards the end, which you lose a bit of the fun out of your game when you get a few injuries. So I was ready. My wife was ready just to start it again at the age of 30, and I actually did a really good transition.
That's really good. And speaking of transitioning, you finished your career at the Knights and went straight over to the Super League to play for Catalans. Not only are they a Super League team, but they're also a totally non-English speaking sort of area in France, in Perpignan. What was that like? The cultural difference, the code-ish difference, and everything in between?
Wow, what an experience. What a way to finish. Like the culture of France, south of France, the beach. The beach was, we're living on the beach. The snow mountains were half hour away.
Oh, snow and beach. Wow.
Yeah, Barcelona was, like an hour or two away. It was an amazing place to live. Met some really good people. Look, the language barriers was hard. We had a little one at the time, and going to the doctors and that could sometimes be a little stressful. But the club made us feel very welcome. Teamed up with some great players that people would be familiar with, particularly Stacey Jones.
Yep.
The New Zealand Warriors legend, and met some. Yeah, so I look back on that with fond memories. He'd lay out.
That's honestly really awesome.
Caterpillar, but he'd
Did
lay
you
out
have any
about
pre-game routines
10
or
pair of footy
rituals,
boots
whether it's the
along
night
the floor and
before,
pick
the
which
day
boots he was
of,
gonna
and
wear.
if not, okay, well, during your time at the Knights, had the weirdest type of routine or pre-game ritual?
I remember rooming with Matty Johnson. Yeah, so that was. I found that.
Was it a different pair each time, or was it the same pair, even though we lay out at 10 pairs?
Listen, You know, yeah. So he had a lot of different boots. I used to love getting to the ground, getting straight in to get my ankles taped up. Everyone gets their ankles taped, so I'd like get that done. Then you'd go out and you'd watch the 21s or reserve grade.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't that good to be able to go back in the day, watch 3 games of footy and
I
see
used
the
to love
crowd.
doing that. I used to love
Yeah, so I
go
miss
and
that.
watch the 3 grades of the footy, and
Yeah.
obviously the main event being the first grade. It was great.
And you'd see these young players coming through the ranks, and you'd watch them and follow them, and but yeah, so I used to enjoy doing that. Nothing better than a Sunday afternoon game at Newcastle, sun shining, 20,000 Novocastrians there to watch us, with blokes like Andrew Johns in your team more often than not winning.
Hmm.
It was a great time, you know. From when I started in '97, right through to about 2002, we generally were a chance of winning the comp every year, made the
Yeah.
semis every
Well,
year.
yeah, you made the semis and all that most of the years that you played.
Yeah, so just a brilliant era. You know, Ben Kennedy, Danny Badiris, Matt Gidley,
Kirk
Tamana
Gidley,
Tahu.
Tamana Tahu,
I
yourself, Robbie
can't
O.
name. You know, just you know, and what the good thing about it, really good mates to this day. You know, like that's the good thing. We were very close. A lot of us still live near each other. Um, we train of a morning, 3 or 4 mornings a week still. We call ourselves the Wolf Pack.
Yep.
And Kurt Gidley runs that with Denny Badiris Denny's he can't come with us now because of COVID because he's involved at the Knights.
Yep.
But Paul Harrigan, Stephen Crow, former teammate, Jared O'Doherty. We have a little group. We do a bit of that training, and I keep fit by doing air locker as well. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I was talking to John Skandalis the other day, and he said that it's a very rare bond that you kind of make with teammates when you win a grand final together. Like it's you can go through your whole career with with a group of blokes and not necessarily win a grand final, but like that winning the grand final puts that extra brotherhood sort of vibe amongst you and the players. Do you agree with that sort of statement?
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. You're galvanised for life when you win a premiership together, and you mightn't see each other for a while, but you just run into each other, and then you talk like nothing's changed, you know, and that's a really good thing. And lucky enough to have done that, win 2 premierships with the Knights.
What was the oath? What was the 2001 grand final win like? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. Well, you know, Parramatta were raging favourites that year and had a super season. But we came out and, you know, led by blokes like Andrew Johns and Ben Kennedy, walked off the field at 24-0, I think, at half time. And, yeah, we sort of, once again, Newcastle just got behind us. It was about 4 years since our last premiership. It was a full premiership this year. The '97 one, there was Super League as well.
Yeah, the Super League and split. Yep.
Yeah, there was that hanging over us. So it was nice to win the DR1 one as well. So 2 occasions you'll never forget. My great mate Billy Peden played lock that day, scored 2 tries. Yeah, fantastic day.
Honestly, that's amazing. I was talking to Robbie O, as I mentioned earlier. I think it was either the '97 or the '01 grand final where Joey just was always like, "We got this, boys." At the start of every kickoff that you guys would have to do, because obviously you were losing at one point, he was like, "We've got this, boys. We've got this. We've got this." You know, throughout the whole game, and then like I think it was like that final kick that Joey did to win the game or something. He straight up says, "I've got this, boys." Do you remember that sort of thing? Did he do that?
There was an underlining confidence in both the '97 and 2001 teams that we were going to win. And looking back on it, yeah, I was very confident and felt really good about being there and the people that we had around us and the support we had behind us. And yeah, 1997, we won in the last minute. But there's that underlining feeling amongst the team that, hey, we're going to get there, we're going to do this. And yeah, we somehow found a way.
Exactly. Sorry. It's just amazing hearing all these stories. It really is. What are your thoughts of the 2020 Knights and the 2020 season and COVID restart and everything in between?
Yeah, it's certainly been crazy circumstances, but well done to the NRL for getting the football back like they did.
Oh, for sure.
And not many others were willing to do that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying my football since it came back from COVID. I really feel like I'm enjoying the games. I think the referees are doing a good job. And my team, Knights, we've done really well, but we've had a couple of weeks now where we haven't had the results we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel Adam O'Brien's doing a great job as coach.
He really is, so for sure.
And we've got a real team of triers. Like every club, few injuries, which don't help.
No, never helps the team.
Nah, it doesn't help that. And you know what? We've got a really good bunch of blokes that whenever I ask them to help with the foundation or anything, they put their hands up, and they're only too happy to help. So being great footballers is one thing, but doing good things for others, using your football to help others,
using your platform,
really
sort of thing.
Yeah, so not everyone uses their platform to do good and do better, but it's those footballers that are happy to do things in the community on the back of their rugby league that are the true champions for mine.
For sure. And also, I was about to say, just before you mentioned that, if at any point you'd like me to promote anything for the MHF Mark Hughes Foundation or Airlock or anything, I'm happy to share a post, do whatever, go to any events. That's anything you'd like. I'm happy to. I dyed my hair pink in October a few years ago for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so
that's awesome. Mate.
I'm more than happy to help out. Right, next question would be the future. If you could tell 10 years into the future what's going to happen for you personally and your life, but couldn't get there because the time travel isn't a thing, would you want to go through the 10 years, or would you rather just skip ahead to the 10 years?
No, I want to get there just day by day. I wouldn't want to skip anything. I've really got a real presence in my life now where I just make today count and wake up tomorrow and start again and make tomorrow count. And I tell people that we can't change what's happened, or we can't, change yesterday, but we can change tomorrow. And, by a better attitude, being positive, being strong. So that's how I play it now, mate, is take day by day and just go that way.
Honestly, that's great. And I got one more topic / question is, do you have any advice for any kids that would love to get into the big leagues one day?
Well, I think you need to believe in yourself when others maybe don't. I think that's the most important thing, is to believe in yourself. And lots of us have dreams, but it's those that get up out of bed and are willing to live and breathe those dreams that can make it. And the thing that I like to say to people is, how do you behave when no one's watching? When no one's around? Are you happy to do the extra training? Are you happy to do the right thing? Are you going to make smart choices? Are you going to make the right choices? Because every day we're faced with choices, but you've got to make good choices to get to a top level. And I think that is really, really important to be making the right choices for you, not for your mates.
Honestly, that's probably the best advice, and I'm sorry to any former person that I've had on as a guest, because most guests say, work hard because hard work works when talent doesn't, sort of thing, but like that's a great adage. But what you just said is also, like, if you couple those two together, that's the perfect mix. Honestly, that's so good. Honestly, that's about it that I've got written down, so thank you.